Hey there everyone, Andrew Lopez with Partner Channel OC at a very, very, very beautiful home here in Laguna Beach. I have the wonderful, the awesome Alison Matthey here with us, and she has been so awesome, and I'm so grateful that we are here at her wonderful home, sharing a nice glass of red. This is very, very cool. Thank you for being with us.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate the opportunity.
I'm very excited that you're here, part of the Partner Channel OC family. It's been, almost 30 episodes running, and it's been amazing to see how that's all transpired over since May. So, Alison, let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Iowa, believe it or not, Sioux City, Iowa, and the youngest of 7 kids, a farm girl, and did a lot of work on the farm and always just loved being around people, fortunately, because I had to share a bedroom with 2 sisters, and then I had 4 brothers. And so, that was my start, and then moved around a lot to further my husband's career at the time. And so I was in Austin, Texas, Bay Area for a while, and then now down here in Southern California for the last 12 years.
Awesome. You've come a long way. Iowa, that's a little ways away, and kind of the transition of life. You've come to the best place in the world, Southern California.
I know.
The beach, Orange County. This is what I've always said in previous episodes is you've come to the right place, and you've chosen the right place to live. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're loving the beach life. So Alison, tell us, what is Dynamic 365, and why did you start it, and what made you kind of create your own thing?
Yeah, so, it really started back when I was in high school, so to speak. I really was interested in human behavior, so I went into psychology in college and wasn't really sure what kind of job that would translate to, and so I decided to get my teaching certificate, and when I graduated, I thought, okay, I'll get a job real easy, and turns out there wasn't a lot of jobs for my area, and I had to be a football coach too, so I couldn't do that.
That's amazing.
my son, who's 16, would say, you couldn't do that. But anyway, I found myself in corporate America right away, and I was a corporate trainer. I was doing training for MCI telecommunications. And the good news about that is that at that time it was a big telecom boom in the 90s and pretty old. But they had a lot of money, and they invested a lot in my development, and it transitioned into a job in human resources training and development, and that was the job for me. It was about psychology, human behavior, helping people in an organization. So I was really fortunate at the time when I worked for them because they certified me in some national programs, some that you might have heard of. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yes, I remember reading that in college. Yeah,
really?
Of course.
Cool.
I'm a communication major, so we were all about that.
Yeah, he was great with communication and really listening. Habit 5. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember all the habits specifically, but I do remember studying that and then transferring that from communication into journalism.
Excellent. And it's all two-way communication. And there was other programs he did, principle-centered leadership for people in organizations, time management. And then there was others like the Myers-Briggs type indicator, which is a psychological test to measure people's human behavior, which is all up my alley. And then the DISC, which is also behavioral assessment, all based on the work of Carl Jung. So I was really lucky. I got a lot of those programs. And so long story short, I don't know if you know, but MCI is no longer a business. It was bought up by WorldCom, and we were all laid off at the time, and I had 2 small children. My daughter was just born, brand new baby, and my son was 3 and a half. And so I thought, good timing for me. I can take some time off. But what I found was that a lot of people that I worked with at MCI pulled me back in and said, hey, can you do some of these classes that we did at MCI for my new company and as a consultant? And so I said, sure, why not?
Yeah. So
it was a smooth transition, and so about 11 years ago I started formally my company, Dynamic 365, and I've been having a lot of fun with it ever since. So that's kind of how I got started.
That's awesome. And what exactly is it that you do for businesses and organizations?
So I look at leadership in 3 levels. So you can look at your own individual leadership, what you do in your life to be the leading person in your life. And with that, I do executive coaching, just regular personal coach. Sorry, Stella. Life coaching, coaching using mental models, which really helps people identify their behavior patterns. Also using some of those assessments I learned back at MCI, using the MBTI, DISC, Strength Finders, emotional intelligence. So I do coaching, to help people get to whatever those goals are, either in their career or in their lives. Then there's the second level of leadership where if you're leading a team, if you lead people. And what's interesting is that when people move from an individual contributor role to a leadership role, sometimes they struggle because, and there's research behind this, it's called the parallel lines model. Mm-hmm. Basically, when people are hired, they're usually the top performer. It might be an engineer, an accountant, or communications major, and they're really good at what they do, and then they say, okay, now lead this team of people. And what they find is it just requires a whole new set of skills. Yeah. Do you lead people yourself?
I don't myself, no. But I understand what you mean, where you might be so tasked with one job in a higher level as a manager or a VP level, and you're so good at that, but it's hard to manage the people below you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, you're totally right. It's another skill set. It's another 40-hour-a-week job, right? That you can add to what you're already doing.
Yeah. And so everybody's doing more with less, right? So you have to do that job, and then you're leading all these people. Yeah. It's really tough. And so usually you're a top performer, and so what that creates is a mindset where everyone should be a top performer. How come they're not? Mm-hmm. Most people on your team probably aren't as top performer as you. And then those skills aren't there. So what my organization we like to do is help emerging leaders or leaders that just really like to get better. And there's a whole lot of skills that we teach behind that. And we learn what an organization needs based on looking at where their business results are and what kind of behaviors you want, what skills they need to have, and maybe even some of the beliefs they need to create the culture that an organization is looking in. So if you lead a team, we could just do your team, and we could either do team building or, and help with those communication skills, or look at a specific skill that your team needs and get training and development in that. The third part is organizational development, and that's where I'm really excited about some of the progress that I've made. I've been working with one company over the last 10 years with a group of people who I partner with, and the goal was to increase their level of safety through leadership, or the way they are communicating with their teams as leaders, and how that creates a safer working environment. And I'm really happy to say that the numbers have gone down with injuries, and it's just been phenomenal. It's been a real culture change. And so that organizational development piece is also part of what we do. Oh, wow. So you do a lot of great things for an organization. It sounds like there's a real focus on communication. Yes.
And with your education background, that's huge. To really, there's a value of communication in any business, whether there's 5 people or it's a Fortune 500 company. There needs to be a strong, fluid, what I would say, focus on communication to get jobs done, right? And you really, really help with that.
Yes, absolutely. And it's hard.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Because people are gray. They're not black and white, and they don't have an on-off switch, and they don't calculate into a certain formula, and it's difficult. And it's difficult to engage people in the workforce today, with things changing and the cultural differences coming in with millennials and the new generation, the next gen, or whatever they're calling it, the Z gen. It's different. It's different. And what I'm finding is the communication skills aren't necessarily getting better face-to-face. They're actually getting worse because of some of the technology that we have in use today.
Of course.
So,
it's the younger generation so caught up in technology. You got the kids my age, and, I look at my siblings who are going to come into the workforce in the next couple of years, and there's going to be a really big communication gap. And I think that's hard looking at what you do and kind of going into organizations that really have a wide, broad spectrum of workers and age groups, demographics?
Yeah, there's 5 actually, 5 generations.
Right now, currently?
Right now. Yes.
Oh, wow, that's
Believe it or
crazy.
not, there's 5. Yeah, there's a few veterans out there. They're like 70, but
Yeah.
they'll be gone soon. But still, right? You're really looking at a completely different mindset.
Wow. Well, you do an amazing thing. I applaud you for what you've created in the businesses that you work with. And you were alluding to it, but one of the questions we love to ask here on Partner Channel OC and one of the focuses of the channel is Alison, how do you and how does Dynamic 365 value partnership in your business?
Absolutely. So it's all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing. It's about getting there and making those and creating those relationships through good communication. And so the partners that I make with an organization, whether I'm going in at the individual level or the team level or the organizational level, is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do a good job unless I have that good communication with the person that brought me in to the organization. I also have a lot of partners that I work with, and although my company was a company of one for many years, I partnered with some other people that do the same thing, and we've created a company called Transformation Inc. And we realize that when we're doing organizational development, it's a bigger thing to do. We need instructional designers. We need people that do the research to hold these meetings and things. And so we are all partners together in that. And the other part is with the community, right? And here in Orange County, and really want to stay in this beautiful place, giving back. And I feel like with what we do, there's a whole lot of opportunity to be able to do that. If there's a speaking engagement, those kinds of things that we do for free, and offer some of those things, especially to younger people coming into the workforce.
Awesome. No, I love what you do, Alison. And I really, really think that there's a lot of us out there that could really utilize what you show and what am I trying to say? What you provide and just your knowledge with the education background and your focus on communication. I think it's so huge, and it's a lot of people my age that could probably utilize, because you look at people my age that are starting to become managers, and it's that focus, it's that mindset that really a lot of us don't fully have. It's getting tasked with this and getting so focused here, and then learning how to multitask and do this other piece here. So I thank you so much for sharing your story, and it's a wonderful story, and what you do is amazing. I'm going to put Alison's contact info below in the post. Please reach out to her. Please connect with her if your business is looking to kind of streamline communication or really focus on getting the managers in your industry, to better communicate and to better work with a team. Alison's here in her company, Dynamic 365, to really, really to help you out. So, Alison, I thank you so much for the wine. I thank you so much for letting me come to your home, and we'll share this out, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thanks. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers, everybody.